Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the August 21st, 2023 meeting of the Litchfield Capital Improvement Committee. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We'll start roll call. Carrie, you want to start us off?
Sure. Carrie Douglas, I am the Budget Committee rep.
Andrew Cutter, representing the school.
Pete Stone, citizen rep.
Mike Croto, Planning Board.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectmen's Rep.
Marion Colby, Citizens Rep.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Well, first off, this evening, public input. We have two public input sessions during this meeting. Does anybody have any public input this evening that they would like to provide to the committee? And seeing none, I will close public input. We'll go on to the approval of the meeting minutes of August 7th, 2023. Did everybody have an opportunity to take a look at those? Have any questions, concerns? I thought they looked pretty good.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the August
two.
7th minutes.
Are you gonna do it?
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Cutter.
You want to do one or?
Do I have a?
Go ahead.
They
have
some
some
changes.
Okay. Well, what we can do is, we can do the motion and then we'll have discussion and if they want to bring in, changes, we can certainly
Okay.
make discussion. So I'll ask for a second on the motion. I have a motion to approve and do I have a second?
You want a second? Then
Okay.
I'll do the second.
All right, Kim Queen will do the second. All right, discussion. All right, now you can, provide
Okay.
us with your.
Page 2, item F.
Mhm.
I think that's, let me go to that. A, B, C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth one down, 1, 2, 3, fourth one down, that I pointed out that part of the bylaws regarding amending the bylaws, if he could add, required a 2-week notification of the members to review the amended bylaws.
Members, what was that, required 2-week
Required a
notification?
2-week notification of members to review
The bylaws,
the amended bylaws.
amended bylaws, okay.
And then G on page 4. Let's see, G, page 4, we go down there. Section D, the library.
Okay,
It says replacement of a truck.
News to that, news to them.
If we could just scratch that, but the rest looks good. The town administrator, we can keep what's there.
okay.
You sure you don't want a truck?
They get enough trouble.
Where's the truck, sorry?
F.
The library, it says
Page
replacement of truck.
4, item G, section D. It says library.
Oh, got it, yeah.
Yeah. That's all, unless someone else says something.
Okay. So with those amended changes, everybody good? All right. All those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of August 7th, 2023 as amended, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Abstained?
Aye.
One. Motion carries. What do we got? 1, 2. Okay, so 4, 0, 1.
Yep.
That's it. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to D, final approval of the bylaws as amended from August 7th. So we did have a discussion about the bylaws last time, and we were going to add, or we're going to amend them. I know there were some changes that were made. Is everybody good with the bylaws, or do we want to go forward with a motion tonight?
I'd love to be able to go forward with a motion, however, I don't recall seeing the amended bylaws.
Okay.
I didn't either.
So I'd like to review them before we approve them.
Okay.
They're on the portal. Right under the August 7th minutes.
Oh.
not seeing them.
added
You're not
the-
seeing them?
You added
I
the Litchfield
actually
Budget Committee,
don't
right, on
see them
page 3.
either.
Oh, here they are, I see.
I see the
I see
agenda,
it now, yeah.
You see the
I
agenda?
didn't read it
but-
though.
I don't know if this is supposed to be another document?
Let me see.
I would assume that the bylaws would be an independent document.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They are.
yeah, I'm not seeing them, so I'd like to motion to work.
Page 3.
Oh.
Recommend waiting.
Okay,
It does,
We
it
can
says
do
your
that.
budget committee.
Yeah, it says CIP committee.
So, page 3, right, when you go down, it says you're a member of the Litchfield Budget Committee, we added that, right?
Yep, those are the amended ones.
Where are they looking
She can see them, I can see them.
at? Where,
I
where are
got
you
'em.
looking at now?
Mary?
Yeah, I have them.
Right under the minutes,
I'm
The
Yeah.
next
in the- so
document
in the
under the
portal-
minutes.
but
In the
I did get an
portal,
error, I had to
Are you on
request
817
permission to get it.
Oh, wait a minute,
on the portal?
I don't have them.
he doesn't have it, just let me
May I look over your
double
shoulder?
check.
Yeah,
So we added the budget and we, I don't know
Right
what
here?
we did with the secretary, that went back and forth a few times.
Yeah, see that here.
We're the chairman and all that.
Oh, click on August 14th.
this I don't have access.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's the
scroll
error
down.
I had, and then it
Yeah.
came
That's
through,
what it screwed me up earlier too.
Oh, right
and
here,
the secretary
Got it.
looks updated.
as
That's-
amended on 8/7.
So,
Yeah,
you
this I don't
updated
have
the
access to.
secretary
Yeah, I
Right?
have mine out.
and the budget committee.
I sent a request.
Oh, here it is.
But if they need more time, we've
Well,
got the
Pete,
7th.
I know you weren't at the last meeting, did you want maybe opportunity to just go over it, and then next time we can?
I watched the video, I was kind of okay with
Okay.
it,
I
whenever it
tried
was
changing it.
pulling up,
I've
'cause we had
changed
talked about it
while I've logged
before.
in twice.
Right.
It
when you
won't
were
take.
Was it just the 2 changes,
Yeah,
or were there more?
And I think those,
The
it was
budget
mostly
committee
just
and the
him
secretary
cleaning his
description.
clarification on a couple things we had talked about before the meeting.
Jay Mancaro wasn't on the NRPC.
Do you want to tell them what the
Mm.
changes are? I don't know if they want to approve it or not, but.
I
Because
can,
it was the 2-week
I-
thing, and then I think there was clarification around budget committee member,
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
and then what else?
The secretary was
Secretary.
changed to the,
Because there was a discussion
Contractor.
about that. because
and
of-
then the, budget committee and the NRPC were added as the non-voting.
And the 2-week circulation,
We left the 2-week in there,
yeah.
yeah.
Although I don't know where they are in the document, so I can't remember that.
Oh, no, there was one other, sorry, the report. Chair, you asked
Oh,
me to
that's
add
right.
capital improvement
To the-
report so
right.
that
Correct.
it
Yeah.
didn't appear like it was the annual
Anyway,
report.
right, that was the change, correct.
It says I'm logged in as carried over. Not one of the cool guys.
So I guess, does everybody want to take a vote, or does anyone want to wait, or how is everybody feeling on this?
I'd still like to wait and do one final review. I didn't,
Okay,
yeah, I didn't know they were out there.
all right, fair enough. So we will table this to the next meeting, okay? And we'll have those changes
Thank you.
included. All right, very good. All right, moving on to presentation of town and library projects. Kim, I'm gonna have you start us off, and then we'll, if you want.
So, tonight we have, Mr. French here representing the Litchfield Police Department, and Donna and Jeff from the library. I did have just a couple things, road agent Kevin Brown couldn't be here this evening. But we have a couple of updates on, actually some good news. So we were looking for a replacement of 2 trucks. And the Board of Selectmen actually gave us permission August 14th at their meeting to apply for the Granite State Clean Fleets Grant. So October 13th, that grant is due. We are going to submit both of those trucks for under that grant. That at least provides an 80%, there'd be a 20% match. So we'll see how that comes out. We do understand that we should know by the end of December, which would be maybe just in time to slip something in for a warrant article if we absolutely had to.
Is
and
that both trucks or just one?
Both. So both are older trucks, that meet the diesel emission guidelines, for these grants. So that's the trucks. The other item that he submitted was the paving of the transfer station and the highway. We did get a quote on that, so we now have a number which will update the paperwork for. It just came in on Friday. It's $287,782. So we'll update his paperwork with that. On the election machines, I know we spoke and we said that we were going to transfer, we did put them in the budget. So it was presented to the selectmen on August 14th as a part of the budget for town meeting. There's been some talk now, we're getting more information on when these machines might actually be available. So they may or may not end up in the budget for next year. They may not be ready. There is an initiative by municipal managers and town clerks to actually submit testimony to the state to ask them to pick up the cost. Not that that would relate in anything, but
Doesn't hurt to ask.
that's right. So Terry and I will prepare something and present it to the board at the next meeting for them to submit to the state. That's the updates on that.
Okay. So, we do have with us, the Litchfield Police Department this evening, and I believe we have Mr. French, who's the representative. Good evening. If you want to come forward, and sit at the table, welcome to do so.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, I have to go first.
Okay.
Just following the agenda. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me to present two items for the police department. The first one has to do with the new facility for the police department. I know some folks have toured our current facility in the recent past and seen that it is in dire need of replacement. Police facility has been on your plan for a number of years. There were a number of different options presented to the community and to this committee. We recently revisited all of those options and all of those plans and discovered that changes in law enforcement and changes in requirements suggest that we should do an updated needs assessment. Just as an example, in the processing area for detainees, we now have an automatic fingerprint submission machine plus a printer, which is a huge piece of equipment. It replaces the single table ink method that we had, which is a quarter of this table size. The machine that's in place now probably with the printer probably takes the size of this table, which we didn't count on having when the designs were put in place. There's also additional requirements, new storage for DNA, refrigeration and things of that nature that weren't necessarily addressed in the plans when they were put forward in 2023 and before that. So we are recommending a updated needs assessment, and our submission, based on estimates that we have received, would be $30,000. And our intent is to take that $30,000 from impact fees.
Alright.
How much are available in the impact fees, do we know?
I will look as he's talking. How's that?
Was there a grant for the fingerprinting to be electronic now? Not
Yes.
that you need more room than a desk, I'm not
Yes,
putting
the
anything in your argument, but, yeah.
machine did come to us via a grant with a small match. So the machine itself was provided by the state through a grant, but the space,
Oh, yeah, well, you still need a space. Is it actually here? Because I know it was on hold
It's
for a while.
fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
it is
it
here,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
here and being used.
So what are the
Yes.
Boy Scouts gonna do for their fingerprint badge?
I don't know, but it made getting fingerprinted for school much easier.
We still have the ink technology, we can
Oh, yeah, they
certainly
did-
do the cards.
They did offer that,
Just
because
bad
some
thing.
parents were a little nervous about sending their information off, so they were
Sure.
able to still do the.
Yeah, we do offer the
Yeah.
ink and the hard copy cards, so,
They love it.
yes, they do.
$24,715.
Oh, so it's almost enough to cover the. And are any of those expiring soon? Because that's even more of a.
No, they are.
Well, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, like if, especially if any of them are due to lapse, then,
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
None for 2023.
okay. But if it's intended for the purpose of addressing police needs, it seems to be very clear cut that that would be an appropriate use, so.
Oh, it's definitely an appropriate
Right,
use.
I-
My question is it a good use, right? If we already have plans, and the plans, I believe, call for, I'm gonna say somewhere in the vicinity of a 10,000 square foot building that the former chief did, right, in a wing, just to our right, your left, right? I would think that within a 10,000 square foot building, it might have even been 12, if I remember.
I don't know.
It was 12.
It was 12,000? Yeah, 12,000 square foot building, that, there would be space for a machine, I would think. I mean, that's 4 times the size of your current
But
station.
I don't think it's all that though, it's updating the current drawings to meet, or the old drawings to meet current requirements.
That's,
Like, we'd hate to build a building and then like in the 11th hour, be like, oh no, we didn't need an.
Yeah, but this isn't a blueprint, that's not what the $30,000 buys us, it's not like an actual blueprint, it's more of a schematic and idea, correct?
to look at the existing plans that were put forth
Yeah,
with the new updated requirements, fingerprint machine, the evidence storage in general. We're finding we need additional storage, and frankly, other departments in the town need additional storage. So taking all of those 3 main characters into account, in our opinion, requires another look at the drawings that we currently have.
So would it be a high level look, or would it be like really getting
Sounds like a
detail?
delta against standards against the current layout that they have.
Well, I'm just saying, who's to say it's gonna be 30 grand, it could be 15, like really, I mean, like,
it
For
could be
sure.
50.
if it's, well, we have a
I mean,
history of throwing money.
On the school side, we've been criticized for spending money,
Mhm,
right?
yeah.
And more money when we already have plans that we can work off of,
No,
right? I'm just
yeah.
balancing this a
No, I
little
hear
bit,
you.
right?
But I also think that had we had full and complete idea of what we were getting into from the start, we may have made better choices. So if perhaps it's an investment in making a better decision. So either way, I think I mean, I don't know, I haven't spoken to his architect or his engineer, what is $30,000 getting you, but it's not gonna be, $10.
the end
There's
of the
gonna
day-
be some
At the end of the day, it's
cost.
absolutely an appropriate use of impact fees, and I
Yes.
think that's a great use to
What the
source that funding.
magnitude is, I don't know.
Right, I just like to see something more tangible than just, an idea, right, on a schematic for that money, but
Right.
I get the process.
Yes, because in the past they talked about $5,000, but we've also seen a lot of cost creep lately, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
30 grand seems high, but I think there is a cost.
Who would
So-
be doing the assessment?
In speaking to the contractor that had been engaged for the first project idea. We discussed a few architects, some of which Mr. French and I are familiar with. And so I would suggest I put out an RFP and at least target those.
Oh, yeah, get a target value.
So would you,
And-
would you be doing the traditional architect contractor, or would you be doing a design build?
Sounds like there's a standards.
I like-
Well, I'm just
I
saying,
like
if you know,
design
if you have a
build
contractor
myself,
who's
but-
already built them, I
Yes.
favor design build.
I in favor of
versus
design build too.
do an architect, and then, oh no, the contractor and us aren't on the same page, whereas if it's one unit, you flesh out those problems long before you find out you've significantly overspent.
Agreed.
So I'm a proponent of design build.
I'm just curious, did we, and forgive me, did we use up all of the ARPA money?
Yes.
Yes.
We did?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just wanted
It's driving around town somewhere.
It is, okay, got
I think it's
Buried in the back.
it. Okay.
Well, there's that, and
Just
there's like the
checking.
highway trucks or something, there was a number of
Yeah,
things.
there was a bunch of
The
vehicles.
excavator, right?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that,
excavator and I think a heavy truck.
yeah.
And at this time, are there any grants available or anything that might help with this at all, do you think? Or,
I will look, I haven't found anything yet. You know, we've been looking for a number of grants through Homeland Security, through the state for a number of different things related to, safety. But that doesn't mean.
Was it tied to the design or just the actual building costs? Or both, the grants? Just curious, cause they're targeted all over the place.
Yeah, generally, I haven't seen any as far as building of
No,
safety.
they tend to favor, you know,
Yeah.
schools versus municipalities, unfortunately. The upside is it all comes from the same taxpayer dollar, pocket, but they don't seem to.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be anything
yeah.
directly related to police facilities
Right.
Right.
at this particular juncture.
I mean, we got a grant for updating our hazard mitigation, which we're doing right now. So we received a grant for that. There's some grants that are out there for CERT teams but they're more personnel and plan related than they
Yeah.
are building related.
All right.
So where do we wanna leave this? Do we wanna let them push an RFP and get a closer target?
Well, this, for tonight, it's just understanding what the asks are, and then we're gonna come back
Well, the reality
in the
is,
next couple of meetings.
if they end up using mostly impact fees,
This
is it
is a
even,
capital
it is
request.
not a capital request, it ends up being a Board of Selectmen.
Right.
No, that's fine, but I mean, if it has to come back, do we wanna get a closer target? I mean, if you're doing it anyway, at least we get a better idea to plan against.
It's not, I mean,
If it
it's
doesn't get
gonna
consumed
take
over-
at least 45 days, so.
Okay. I mean, we can go with a rough number for now and refine it if it doesn't go to impact fees.
Right, well, I would suggest we put something together anyways, because if we're going to use the impact fees, if that is your recommendation, we'd really want to, get
Wouldn't
them.
fall to us, right? That would go to
Yeah, we'd wanna encumber them this year, because once you encumber them, then you don't. you
'Cause
know,
the
that
reality is-
Payback is gone.
Are there any other opportunities that the police department could use the impact fees for? It's expansion of services, right? So unless you're
Correct.
adding to the fleet, or if you're adding something,
I thought that was
But
on
other-
the list
what-
too.
well, the truck perhaps, but otherwise,
Yeah.
building a new building that is expanded to meet the needs is a clear use of impact fees.
And isn't it, well, it specifically has to do with growth.
Right.
Correct. It has to do with new growth in the town.
Mhm.
Okay, so it would have to be tied to that. Okay, is there, I think there was something about cruisers as well, I think the last time we were here.
So
I
there's
guess,
two cruisers and a truck,
two
And a
cruisers
command truck.
and a command truck.
and the truck was the one I personally had a lot more questions
Okay.
about.
So if I could just, to remind folks that police cruisers are a necessary tool for law enforcement, and they need to work when they need to work. They need to be safe, they need to be efficient, and they need to take advantage of the most up-to-date safety technology that is out there, as well as be comfortable with all of the equipment in there. Because a police vehicle is, in essence, a police officer's office for 8 or 10 hours or 12 hours a day. The current fleet is an aging fleet. It is definitely showing its age. Police cars are driven differently than traditional passenger vehicles. There's rapid acceleration, rapid stopping. You're constantly shifting from park to drive to reverse, opening and closing doors, puts a strain on the structural integrity of the vehicle, as well as all the computers and radars and lights and all of those equipment items that are in a car take their toll on the electrical systems. We had attempted last year to stay within the established vehicle replacement schedule, but as we know, that didn't work out. So we are coming to this committee again with requests for replacement vehicles to attempt to get back to the schedule, as well as to address the need that we've recently identified. So our request is for 2 replacement police vehicles. Those would be put on the front line. Things that are older would be bumped down, and our intention is to either attempt to trade or auction off 2 of the vehicles that are in the existing fleet. Probably the 2 remaining Ford Explorers, but if we've got a Tahoe that really isn't fitting the bill, maybe we try and trade that one. It all depends on where we land at the time that we're going to be making a purchase. So 2 replacement patrol vehicles, and we are now proposing a supervisor vehicle, which would be a pickup truck designed for law enforcement, equipped for law enforcement, but also have a cap and a command center in the back of it, similar to what the fire chief currently has. A couple of recent critical incidents, trying to work out of a police cruiser when you've got barricaded people and shots being fired just didn't work out all that well. In addition to that, with the retirement of the animal control officer, we have assumed some of those functions and would like to have a vehicle that we can put the snatch pole into, and if necessary, a portable kennel to transport or what have you. It is not a good idea to transport animals in police vehicles that are then going to be transporting detainees probably within the same shift. The pickup truck would be driven by supervisors. It should last longer. Supervisors tend to put on less mileage, but it would be equipped for them to function out in the field as supervisors, emergency response, not have to come back to the station to pick up cameras and other radios and equipment. It should all be in that one vehicle. Based on information that we have currently, and we don't have a finalized state bid, the number for all 3 is estimated at $198,000. That also includes something that wasn't included in past budgets for vehicle replacements, and that is to decommission ones that you are taking off the line. So you got to strip them. You got to make sure all the lettering is off of them. Some of them are keyed exactly the same as the remainder of the fleet. You want them rekeyed before you auction them off or send them off, and that costs. So we've added estimated $1,500 per decommissioned car.
You said per vehicle?
Yes, sir, per vehicle. You know, stripping the reflective
Oh, no,
stripes
I
off
totally
is
get
pretty
that. I
cheap.
was just making sure that
Yep.
I wasn't a total.
So we're asking for funds for 3 vehicles and recognizing that there is a problem with the budget. Maybe those are warrant articles as well.
What is your proposed or your thoughts on the replacement schedule? In the past, we did 2-1-2 on the cruisers. Where do you think we should be at this point?
Based on our current staffing, I think if we do 2 this year, we're okay, and we'll probably do 1 next year, but I really think you need to get back to a replacement schedule that addresses the marked cars, the patrol vehicles, and the administrative cars. So it appeared in the past that administrative car replacement was in part of the 2-1-2.
Well, I
And
think
it
the two,
really needs to be
they got
separated.
bumped down. I think the administrative cars were former first frontline. They worked their way through the system.
Yeah, except now that you didn't do that.
No, I know, and I'm just curious, because like, this kind of thing seems like it'd be more of an operating budget than a capital improvement thing. And so that's where I'm going with it. Like, if we were to try to advocate for returning to the regular replacement schedule, then the 2 cruisers, in my opinion, should be in the operating budget. Whereas the new truck would
An
definitely
expansion.
would be an expansion, so it would be part of the purview of this committee. So I'm not sure where you stand on the budget yet, as to whether or not it's appropriate to try to put your cruisers back into your operating budget, but traditionally, that's where they've been. We just ran into a tax cap issue, so which is why they got pulled. But we've increased the tax cap, so if there's an opportunity to return to the original schedule, that might be something worth considering.
I think a 2-1-2 schedule, if you can maintain it,
Right,
is a good schedule.
right.
The minute it
It
deviates
gets
off of
dicey,
it.
right? Because then you're like, well, last year was 1 car, so now we have a default budget, now what are we gonna do? So I
Exactly.
totally get it,
Mhm.
but also knowing that there's a plan makes it easier for some of the more cynical and, thrifty members of the budget committee to like, well, there's a plan. And so at least, we're in year 1, this is what we're supposed to be doing. So again, it's a discussion of you guys as to what should be in the operating budget versus what should be capital improvement, that's all.
And the truck is replacing a patrol vehicle, it's not an addition.
Well, it's a different
But it's a different
function.
function, but its fleet remains the same size.
But it doesn't cost it a little bit more though?
Just a smidgen.
Yes, so it's not quite a 1-to-1 like.
No, but
So I appreciate where you're going with that, but the creativity
Yeah,
that you
because that would
bring.
be on a different schedule, right? 'Cause it's a
Right.
different type of vehicle.
Right,
But I think patrol vehicles definitely, to take advantage of all the new technology and, reduce the stress on all the systems, you gotta get back to a 2-1-2.
right, and I think we were up against a tough budget.
And what does
season.
that cycle through? Then there's 6 years, 5 to 6 years cycle total?
I think it was, well, originally it was like the 2-1-2, it was 5, there were 5 patrol cars, and then
Right.
eventually they'd get demoted down to like,
Okay.
Right.
traffic stops and whatever else, whatever the hierarchy was, they'd get moved through
Right.
the.
You put the newer stuff at the top and then
Just like the grocery
bump
store,
everything
man.
down.
Just rotate the shelves.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's essentially what it was.
In terms of, again, in terms of alternative sources of funding, is there anything that's available? I mean,
Police vehicles, have you seen anything like?
The only thing that's out there is some offer a lease program, a municipal lease program.
yeah.
That's the only thing I've seen. The pickup truck is not a significant specialty vehicle to be something that Homeland Security would tag on to, because we're trying to fit 3 things into that one vehicle.
Anybody have anything else? Kim, did you have anything down there? Or you guys?
Maybe 1 goes to warrant article.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, I
Appreciate you coming in
appreciate
and providing some input. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up is, well, I have down here Litchfield Information Technology. I know last time we were here, John spoke regarding infrastructure and updating the computers and that and whatnot. John, did you want to speak? I don't know if you can hear me. Did you want to, sorry, I wasn't sure. Did you want to speak about information technology?
I don't have anything specific. I was only asked to come to answer any of the questions around the RMS upgrade, which was police related, not really IT. I know we covered it in detail last meeting,
Yeah.
Right.
so,
That was a really good conversation, though.
yeah, no, it was, okay.
Okay.
But if anything does pop up during your deliberations
watched
and
it.
stuff, feel free to reach out. I'll
Yeah.
get that.
John?
Plus I know what John is.
You do, yes, absolutely. Okay, thank you, John, I'm sorry. Next is the Aaron Cutler Memorial Library. People here for the library,
Yes.
who they are, so why don't you folks come to the table? You're up. Come on down.
You're the next contestant. Don't go over the numbers, Carrie, will be upset.
Oh, I was very nice, I thought, last time.
He's in here.
I'm saving that up for like October.
Good evening. Maybe you want to introduce yourselves to the board.
I'm Donna Ferguson, Chair of the library.
I'm Jeff Larson, library trustee, and recently elected treasurer, I guess. Yeah.
Congratulations.
And Vice Chair.
And vice chair.
All right. So what's on the library's agenda here this evening? What do you guys want to talk about?
A couple of things. So actually, I had submitted our various CIP projects back last month. Two of them, actually after our last meeting, we actually are going to remove. So that would be the CCTV and the book drop. We do not need those under consideration at this time.
Okay.
Which leaves us, and I'll kind of go, I guess, in just in the order of the priority now with those out. The first being the irrigation, sprinkler systems outside. Second would be the carpeting inside the facility. Third is the shelving and service desk updates and upgrades. Fourth would be the office remodel, and the fifth on the list would be the new facility.
Okay. In terms of the new facility, I mean, has there been anything in terms of doing a schematic or anything like that? Have
We-
you-
We have not
It's
gotten
pretty much
that. It's
Yeah.
more of a discussion than,
more of,
Yeah.
it's out there,
It's
right?
out
It's
there,
out there, but
okay.
no, we have not started that. There's other projects that would probably come before that.
okay.
And given that's going on in the town with a new school, maybe a new facility for the police station, I think that we have to put this, reality is gonna put this on the bottom of the pile for now, though. Would we love a new building? Absolutely. However, we do have a pavilion, so which we're really excited about, so we're gonna leave it at that for now. But we wanna keep that as number 5, a new facility.
What are we looking at in terms of, sort of for dollar numbers, in terms of, the irrigation, the carpeting, how much is that?
So the irrigation, what is it?
Yeah.
It's like about,
About 8,000.
About 8,000,
Little
yeah.
shy,
right,
little shy of 8.
right. Honestly, we haven't gotten a quote for the library, for the carpeting. That's gonna take us some time because we have to get everything out of the library, new carpeting, get everything back in the library. So, we can start doing that this year. Last year, we were really kind of focused on the pavilion and putting some of these, just putting this together. And I believe for the other items as well, I don't believe we have quotes for those as yet. We focused on the first three, which now we've kind of taken the two off the table, and now we have the irrigation system.
So what is the intent behind, I'm just curious as to why is that rated so high versus?
The irrigation
Yeah.
system? Well, the lawn needs it. We just need that on the lawn to improve it.
Do you mean why the dollar amount is so
Well,
low?
I'm just curious as to like, okay, yes, grass is pretty and nice and all that, but, versus like the carpeting within the building itself, which can do, that carpeting can affect air quality and other stuff inside, sound. So, I'm just curious as to why that ranks so high in the priority.
Well, we just haven't gotten a quote for the other one yet. Like I said, we were working on re-quoting the pavilion last year, getting the quote for the security system and the book drop, and then we did the irrigation system.
Is there an existing irrigation system?
No, there is not.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The lawn is where the pavilion is going, right?
Correct.
So how big of an irrigation system do you need if there's a pavilion going on a big part of that property maybe?
On the
Is it
one
not
side,
that
I
big?
believe, when you
Yeah,
drive in,
It's not that large.
it's not that large.
There'll still be significant grass left.
Yes,
Yeah,
there
well,
will be.
on the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is an issue, I would say, at the library, at the fire station, at town hall. The fact that there's no irrigation on any facilities. And it does lead to problems like ground bees. Who does your lawn care?
Off the top
Do
of my head.
does highway mow? No?
No, I don't believe so. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know. But also with the pavilion, you're gonna have more people on the lawn as well,
Right.
which is gonna mash it down.
No, I also know what Litchfield grass looks like, so to me, it's just, so would the intent be to connect to public water? Would you be drilling a point well? Like, I just also know how expensive water in town is. So how would you plan to
Did we,
actually water it?
well, I know there would be some sprinkler heads.
It would be, my understanding would be using the existing well. Part of the quote that we did receive was to have the well tested if necessary to ensure, it's able to support a
Alright,
new
so-
irrigation system.
Because one concern would be like, grass is, pretty, green grass is pretty, but it also is expensive when you use Pennachuck water, so, but if your plan is to use an existing well, well, that mitigates at least that concern.
Yeah, they need a CIP entry for the bill
I'm sorry?
from Pennachuck.
Is the library on town water, or is the library currently using the well for drinking water,
I'm almost certain the library's on well.
on public?
Well.
On well.
Well,
Oh.
I don't know if it went down that far.
I don't believe that
Well,
when the
no,
fire
we got that at the
department was
winery.
hooked up with Pennachuck, that the library also got hooked up.
I would just, it's just my suggestion that, and after speaking with administrators in most of the affected towns, not only to the library, but to residents, I would test.
We are gonna
It
get.
is constantly changing, day by day, as we speak. And they are now looking at it, changes to the consent decree for these properties that are being added. So it's a good thing to know.
The well test, if needed, is part of the quote that we received.
Okay.
So yes.
well, is that a mineral test or is it a pressure capability
It
test?
just says well test
Probably
if needed,
pressure.
performed by New England Well.
Because that wouldn't mean anything with the quality, it's just whether or
Right.
not that would service the.
Yeah, I think you're
Right.
referring to the PFOAs and, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
In terms of the library, have you looked at any alternative sources of funding at all? It's
No,
typically what we ask, the departments and the committees, so I guess it's just
I don't
curious
believe
if you
that we
had looked
have,
into anything.
but we can look into grants
If-
or if they're
there's some-
available.
I don't know if
sure.
there's something out there.
Sure, we can do that.
But it might be something to look into, just
We can do
due
that.
diligence and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I do understand from the road agent that he has gotten a quote on repaving some of your area, and we'll try to do that within our existing highway budget.
Okay, like the driveway?
Right.
Okay.
Some of that has gotten pretty bad,
Yeah, pretty bad, yeah.
so.
Anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Well,
We didn't ask about the office remodel, do we have a target value on that, or is that still?
Well,
We don't have-
For future years, you're right. Like,
Right,
even
these
if it's
are-
not this year, so
Yeah.
I would still work on numbers. so
Oh,
if we
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we
that's
just,
what
that's
we
down the
don't need
road.
to, right?
Right.
No, I understand, but I mean.
Yeah.
At least put a ball, and I
Secure
would,
window.
well, yeah, it doesn't have to be specific, like, a range. So I wouldn't stress yourself over getting exact dollars, because no matter what you get today,
Is,
it's gonna be
It's gonna
different
be different.
anyway.
We
So,
know
but-
that.
But it's better
For
to
sure.
know, are
We
you
just need
talking
the
10
placeholder.
grand, or are we talking
Sure.
50 grand?
Sure.
And
Like,
same thing we did before, where you can
Right.
list it as deferrable
Sure.
and search.
We could,
Right.
we
Placeholder
definitely
with
could do that.
a ballpark, 'cause, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we were asked to provide a list of things and in that order, so that's what
Right.
we've done.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I just, like I said, just so we can plug it in, just so I have an idea, like.
Sure, sure,
We're
we
talking
can,
100 grand, we're talking 25 grand.
yeah, I can't, yeah.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
And Corey McGrath hasn't gotten back to you yet?
Corey McGrath with,
Yeah, for the new debt service desk?
not that I know of, I haven't heard that, no,
Not, yeah,
no.
I've not received word.
One of the best.
Excuse me, you said you took off the CCT security?
And the,
And
the
the
book
book
drop,
drop.
yes.
I'm curious about why you took the security request off.
Well, we just took it off the,
Off the CIP, we are still planning to move forward with it, just need other funds.
Okay.
right, right. Yeah, we want to definitely keep our patrons and our staff safe,
Yeah,
absolutely,
that's
yeah.
curious that you
We just said
took
we're
it off.
just, it's not part of the
And
CIP.
as far as the water, whether you're on Pennachuck or not, are you allowed to drink water there, or do you have to use bottled water?
I know they do have bottled water, that's a good question, I don't know. I know that they do have bottled, we don't
I mean-
usually talk about the water, so I don't.
know, well, I mean, but people
Yeah.
must have to use water, well, I mean, people who are working, they must need a drink.
Right, I know
Are they
that,
drinking it from bottles, like this
or
bottle?
do they bring it, I know we do have bottled water, but I don't know that to be, I don't,
Okay.
yeah, but that's good, we can ask about that. I don't know if they're on that, or affected by that whole, the water issue.
Well, they've
Is that
obviously
22?
affected since the whole town
This
is,
is
but
a
I mean,
draft.
it's whether
I
or not
guess
they
that's
hooked up to
where
it,
the
or they're still
testing
using
product
well
comes
water.
in.
Right.
Right, that's what I meant, yes.
Mhm.
But there is something in the current
We're gonna have
consent decree where if you are switching over to town water, like they're doing up at Hillcrest, if you're switching over to town water and you're hooking up to town water and you have an existing well and you want to connect that to irrigation system, there's at least some funding within
Okay,
the consent decree for that.
And about the lawn, like, well, do you notice, like, someone comes and mows the lawn, or how do you see that getting done? Does it just get mowed when you're not there? I mean, how do you?
I think we have a service that comes in and they mow the lawn,
But is it someone contracted by the town, or does the library?
I think the library does it, I
Contract
don't,
somebody?
yeah, I don't know, I don't believe it's contracted by the town, I think Vicky's
Do the
probably,
trustees know that?
we are
And
the
they're paying
trust,
for it, right?
we are the
Oh, okay,
trustees.
so you're paying, well, you're
We do
paying
pay for it,
then.
we do pay for it,
Okay, so you know
yes,
that you can contract with somebody.
yes,
Okay. Got you.
yeah,
We should look at that for, give me a call. We're looking at the, cemeteries and different areas and how we can create some efficiencies, so.
sure. I'll have Vicky
Yeah.
put that on our next agenda for, yep, yep.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you both for coming in this evening. Appreciate it. And thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is, we have another public input. I don't see anybody else here. So we'll close public input. Is there any other business this evening? Or do we have anything we want to talk about?
Just, I believe, September 7th is the school.
Is gonna be the school. And is, I believe, Mr. Brown gonna come in as well?
He'll come in case there's any additional questions. We may have some more information. The paving, that will be the only quote because that is covered by our purchasing policy as a verified vendor.
And that's just another spreadsheet with the next schedule, right?
Right, so, but he said he will attend in case there's further
Nice.
questions.
Okay, great.
And then rec and conservation, just to confirm one more time.
Yes.
Great question, sorry.
Yeah.
So, I spoke with Mr. Ames, by email, this morning. They are reviewing their plan tomorrow, at their meeting tomorrow night,
Excellent.
and hope to finalize it, so we can get that over to you. I was contacted by Mr. Brennan, and he said that they definitely wanna move forward the item that they've had on the plan, for the past couple of years. But there was nothing new at the moment that he was
And that was
adding.
just the 200K escalation.
That,
Yeah.
so I believe, when we spoke with Mr. Mankara, he identified that he was going to keep everything on the plan unless someone had
Perfect.
identified it needed to come off,
Well,
so.
we might have to do a delta evaluation on that just to be sure.
Right. Sounds good.
That shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay, so just in terms of next meeting, September 7th is our next meeting for the school,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then our next meeting would be October 4th, I'm going off memory,
Correct.
There's another one.
right, which is our first meeting, and that's, and October 4th meeting is where we're going through all of the requests that were received, and then doing kind of the mapping and prioritization as we've done in years past.
Sounds lovely.
Yes.
So, great. Okay, so the next meeting, is September 7th, and then there was not another meeting in
they're in the
September?
minutes.
October 4th.
That's right, we didn't go after
We didn't go to
that.
after that. Okay, remember, all right, got
We're
it.
back to regular
And then-
It's
schedule.
October 2nd.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it October
Is it
2nd?
second?
October 2nd.
Thanks.
October 2nd.
And then
Yeah.
school board meeting on the 4th.
That's what it is.
So, There'll still be
And a
somewhere
budget
around
meeting
there.
on the 5th.
He's got his face.
Your schedule is
I get to
complete.
see you so many more days. It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Any more meetings? All right, very good. Anything from anybody else?
Good.
Okay.
I can tell you that the
Yeah.
town hall had a expense, I'm not sure of the magnitude yet, but
Uh-oh.
Friday we had an emergency hot water heater.
Uh-oh.
And so luckily, thankfully, we have a very fast plumber that came, but it was not an expected expense.
At least it's summertime.
Right. Okay. And Andrew, do you know, is Doug gonna be here for the next meeting, or is
It
it
would
Dr.
either be the
Jetty,
business
or-
administrator or the superintendent, or
They're both gonna
maybe
be
both, yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
You can ask Doug, he's right there.
Yes, he is. I'm sorry.
Mrs. Planner, did the superintendent send you the updated file for the school? I know
He
there's-
did.
Okay,
Is
good.
it not the one that you're seeing on the
No,
bottom?
I just sent you.
It
more-
isn't?
No, there's a more recent one that I sent you tonight.
Yeah.
after you
Oh.
asked me
We,
to
we
check.
seem to be struggling with a version control issue of that document, I don't know why, but.
Oh, that document said like a 923, or not, I don't know.
So the one, yeah,
That's
there
why I
is
questioned it.
Yeah, that's
I knew
not
I
it.
was gonna miss two more, that's why I
a,
didn't.
there is a
read it, I didn't
923
think it
one, but the one,
But that's from 22, 923.
this one, if you pop this one open, that's
right.
currently
We're
there.
supposed to have a meeting on the 7th and
Yeah,
then the
this isn't it.
13th.
7th and the 13th,
That's
okay.
what it
Yes, that
said.
feels like,
So
what
let me-
changed?
We've updated
They're in the
it.
minutes, yeah.
7th,
A couple of months ago,
the
it would
13th is.
Well, somebody didn't save it would be nice to have, and you, that's why I questioned,
Or
is the
somebody
nine
that
twenty-three,
Yes.
22 update, I was like, that doesn't seem right.
No.
So there is a meeting on the 13th.
No, that's, okay, yeah.
And then the next one is October 2nd.
My question is though, if recreation is ready, do you want to try to fit them in if they wanna come and speak to the committee on the 7th?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's our opportunity.
Perfect,
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
same thing for
So we
conservation.
may not have the
Okay.
13th.
Any remaining departments that have a new need or we haven't heard from,
Mhm.
Yep.
that's a great opportunity.
Okay,
You got it.
cool.
The theme is going early this time.
I like it.
Working on it.
Okay, so then the 13th, you can discuss.
Sure.
stuff.
Okay.
And I will work
I mean, is
for
there
a
a
third
time?
time. Getting this portal updated. It just doesn't like,
Doesn't like you?
it doesn't like this, that spreadsheet, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Since there's nothing else really this evening, and I think we have established our agenda going forward, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
A motion by Pete, do I have a second?
So moved, second.
All right, second by Mr. Cutter. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstained, motion passes 5-0-0. All right, well, thank you for joining us this evening, and we will see you on September 7th. Have a good night.